Facebook, I saw Josanne said she thinks she's the fourth listener. She hasn't listened to every episode, but she listened for a while, and then she quit. She thinks I said we're really not big on analytics, but you could be the fourth listener. So that's another one we have now.
Now, Wally, you're still posting on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Because I realized, again, from work, we have a YouTube channel, and I realized you can get YouTube analytics. And I've been trying to remind myself to go in and see what our YouTube analytics are. That could be interesting, because what I found most interesting was that it tells you how people found it. And for us, a lot of it came up in suggestions. Now, that would be really interesting to me if our podcast was coming up in suggestions. It could be anyone, anyone could be seeing it.
The only problem with that is the last time I looked, every single episode was 0. Really? Nobody is listening on YouTube.
Okay, I just have to remember to get in there and tag it and stuff like that. I think tagging really helps, because that's what I do with.
I started putting conversation, humor, right, friends talking.
Oh, and that didn't help.
It didn't, but there's so much on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you crack through that, but it really is not working for us, even with the thumbnails.
Well, maybe you should cross-reference grilling out and charbroiling, and so if people are looking up how to grill a steak, or
right,
they'll get charbroiled chats. This looks fun.
Right.
I was just going to go there, but then you'll get the sound of me clicking, so I won't do that.
Oh.
Among our listeners, I think what's important to most of them right now is, BAYLIE, did you do your homework?
I did not.
What homework was that?
Listen, I've been a little busy this week.
BAYLIE was going to watch Kunk on Earth.
Oh, right.
Give it a second chance.
I didn't watch it again. No, I did not.
I knew that would happen.
Yeah. I wasn't all that interested.
But she says to the guy who's the astrophysicist, the Soviets in the 60s were the first to put up a satellite called Spunk.
Oh, that one, yeah.
It's not that we're against a difference of opinion. We're certainly open to.
Are you?
I'm not.
You just want to set me up for something. I know it.
But we're just not interested in your opinion.
Clearly.
Anymore.
So why'd you bring it up?
Wally's a little anal retentive. I think this whole process of the podcast is really, you wouldn't guess it. He tries to pretend not to be, but he is.
You mean because of recording on a microphone and a phone at the same time?
And Zoom?
And Zoom.
That sort of thing?
Yeah, not letting things go.
Anal editing. It takes 4 days out of my life for every episode.
Thank you, Wall, for all your hard work.
That reminds me, guess what episode this is?
823?
37.
48.
Wow.
So what's the end game here?
Does there have to be one? Are you getting tired of it?
No, I'm not. It's the only thing
keeping you going.
Keeps me alive. Yeah. But I don't want you to feel like if you want to quit, you'll kill me.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but now that you put it that way.
It's kind of appealing.
No.
That we'd kill you?
Maybe that's how we get out of this.
I could kill somebody and see what it's like.
I'm going to order a hit.
Oh, my God. Didn't we talk about this before? And I said it sounded like you were, like a romantic partner, and you were like, do you want to continue with this relationship?
Is this therapy?
Yeah.
I have real concerns about it. I don't want you to feel like you've got to keep doing this and that you'd hurt my feelings if you quit. But on the other hand, I'll go as long as you want to go.
I'm glad that you do, because I like it and I want to keep doing it, but I am so bad with follow through in certain areas,
Yeah, me too.
Have you guys ever done the DISC assessment?
Oh, another survey or another test, Grace?
Yeah, another assessment.
You do a lot of those.
You're like the queen of tests.
I am. I don't know why I like them so much, but this program that I was in at work, we did DISC. It is very interesting, though, because I'm an I, meaning influencer, right? And it's funny because my second letter is D, which is someone who likes to control everything. But it's interesting. Apparently, this test shows that, naturally I'm more of an I, but I feel like I have to be a D at work, and it takes a lot of mental energy, right? And it said, like, my type in general is not known for follow through. And it's really interesting to me because, I have always pinned my professional reputation on being someone who's reliable and you can count on and gets it done and and in reality, I hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just have an idea and you go do it.
In reality, you are a D.
No, well, actually, the first time I took it, I was a D. But I see it I see it at home. Like, it takes me 6 months to do a lot of things that I should be able to.
I'm that way too. At work, when other people are relying on me to do something, I'm absolutely.
Maybe you're an I, Bailey.
I'm the worker bee. I'll get it done. Don't ask me to lead the charge, but I'll be, back working hard in the trenches.
Yeah.
But when I come home, I look at something that's been sitting on my dresser for a year. When it could really just go in the drawer.
Yeah.
I know exactly it.
I mean, I thought when Luis left that my house would, be in such good order. And it's worse, I feel like, now that he's gone.
Bailey, you are the reason there were retreat videos. They never would have gotten done without you.
Retreat videos.
Well, what about you, Wally? You were heavily involved, and you obviously don't let things drop.
I'm only interested in ideas, breaking the leaves, or putting in a new light bulb, or anything that isn't simply mental. I'm not interested in.
Oh.
But projects like this, when I know this has to be edited and try to get it out on some kind of schedule, I'm totally committed to it.
Which is why you got the retreat videos done, because you had that day that you had to get it done by.
If I have to write something, I'll write it. But if I have to paint a wall, that'll never happen. Speaking of therapy, I love having projects.
Yeah.
No matter how silly it is or pointless, if you have something that you have to do, of course, I mean, you're working, so you don't have that option.
But I do that on the weekends.
Yeah.
I wake up thinking, when am I going to get done today?
Yeah.
And it's not like, in general, it's not like I dislike it. I usually like these projects that I have going on.
Right.
Well, it's good to have purpose. That's what it is.
That's the whole thing.
It helps you get up in the morning when you have a purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I love checking off the boxes. No doubt about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would describe me, what kind of words you would use. I'm sure in the top 5, maybe even the top one, would be trendsetter. On January 1st, I took all my social media icons on my phone and deleted them.
Yeah.
But Instagram, Messenger, I didn't have Facebook, but Twitter, all of them, deleted them. And honestly, I haven't noticed any difference. I was never really hooked on it like this. So what I'm trying to say is I'm a trendsetter, and I hope that this leads other people to give up social media too. I think it almost destroyed this country, probably destroying the world.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think at the bottom of it, the ability to connect with people who are as fucked up as you are is the basis for that, right?
Be reinforced.
Yeah, reinforcing the total negative behavior. Because now, like, I don't know if you recall this, Walt, but one of the things we discovered on the internet when the internet was relatively newer, or when the World Wide Web was relatively newer, was that there are people who like to have sex with balloons. And so now you can find other people who like to have sex with balloons.
Yeah. Furries, remember that?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Right. Same with pedophiles and all these, people who they have all these chat rooms and you can share ideas, and if that's what you call them.
There's that number, the number of people you can know. Some sociologist or anthropologist figured out that 150 people, about the maximum number of people that you can really have relationships to. Going back to also evolutionary, a tribe would be about 150 people. But now all of a sudden we have the ability to have 10,000 people telling us. And I honestly don't think our brains are ready for it. This is a technology that...
Yeah, I think it's almost like your susceptibility to being indoctrinated into a cult, right? I mean, there's some people who are just never going to buy it. But then there are other people that, there are definitely ways to get into their brain. I was watching I didn't finish it or anything, but the thing about, Sarah Lawrence, remember at Sarah Lawrence? Like, one of the students' fathers, basically made a little cult there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of her friends, right?
Yeah.
And fellow students. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know if I had been in that situation, I'd be like, this guy's an asshole.
Right.
But I tend to be super skeptical,
Yeah, that's the way I am too.
Yeah. I mean, social media, when Facebook first came out, I, used to check in almost every day, blah, blah, blah. I did that for maybe a few months. And then I was like, I don't even know why I'm bothering with this. I mean, I have not unfriended, but I've stopped following almost everyone that I'm friends with. And the people that I care about, figuring out like, this is what, Jen is doing now, kept them. But otherwise, and even with that, I barely ever check it. I just don't give a shit. I don't look at Twitter really. Sometimes I'll fall into the rabbit hole of TikTok, but I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, me neither. Because it is such a time suck. It really is. And
it is.
And I know people that have, and this is personally, I know people in families who have had such roaring arguments over Facebook, over their politics or something, and that like they don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how I found out. Like one half of my family is like that, and my cousins and I unfollowed all of them.
Right, but you still see them, right?
We haven't seen each other.
You see them at weddings and things. Or...
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, in fact, we saw a couple of them 2 weeks ago, and they both got COVID after they saw us, and the next day, so we all had to test like 5 times.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I think that divide that we're experiencing now, I put it down to the internet because I don't know what else changed.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that completely. I think that exacerbated it and allowed people to find like-minded others, but I think that's like there's the social and the cultural and the economic stuff underneath that led to all this disaffection,
Yeah, that's still there, but it wouldn't have gotten to the level of
maybe not
discord that it has. Hoist with his own petard.
I love that phrase.
Good word.
I think if a lot of people say he's hoisted on his own petard or something like that, and it's the way you said it.
Right.
And then maybe they think it's Jean-Luc Picard.
Hey, that's starting again, season 3.
I want to see it, but I don't get that. What is it? Is it
Paramount Plus? It's only like $4 a month, so I do it for a month. I watch it, and then I
Paramount Plus.
Chuck it again.
A lot of people do that.
Pardon?
Like the free trial or the.
Yeah.
We do that all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
What's the fascination with that? Star Trek. Both of you, right, are Star Trek.
I like that one though. The Next Generation.
That's my favorite too.
The Picard one?
That's the one I like. I haven't watched it in the others.
Oh, you haven't? Not even the original?
Oh, the original, yeah. But
okay.
I mean, of all the newer ones.
That's your favorite, yeah.
Star Trek Next Generation was the last one that I habitually sat down and watched.
Yes. Did you watch any of the Discovery ones?
Mm-mm.
That was the most recent, I think. Although there might have been one that even more recent.
Oh, that was with Kate Mulligan. No, what's her name? The woman who was the captain. Is that Discovery or is that someone else?
No, Discovery was literally, the past couple of years.
Okay, no, I haven't seen that.
I don't know. That captain they had, it was a woman, which was really cool. She was very young, but like all she did was speechify. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to give another speech. And it was really too bad because I thought it could have been a really good character. And there were some interesting other characters, like Michelle Yeoh was in it.
Oh, no kidding.
Who I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she played at first she was a captain and then she was a bad guy, which was really fun. But I couldn't get over the speechifying captain or like, oh my God, here she goes again.
Mute.
But the production values are pretty darn good. I mean, when you look at the old Star Trek,
I know.
But it's not as bad as Lost in Space. Have you ever seen any of the old Lost in Space? It's like, okay, we're going to put a spaghetti strainer over you so you can look like an alien.
An alien.
But I loved that show. Holy crow.
Yeah.
Do you remember that show, Walt? Lost in Space?
I remember it.
Danger, Will Robinson.
There's a generation gap.
You were probably a little too old for it.
By the time a lot of these things were on,
yeah,
I was working and didn't watch a lot of TV. Somebody was talking about Newhart show.
Yeah.
How much they loved that. And Mary Tyler Moore. And I barely saw any of them.
Yeah,
that whole era I kind of missed.
After a certain point, I think after the 80s, I pretty much stopped watching any network stuff. I don't know why. I just, like Seinfeld, I've seen Seinfeld in reruns, but hardly any of them. Friends I never saw. All those sitcoms from the 90s, I never saw any of them.
Right.
The only network show I really watched was X-Files.
I watched
in the 90s.
both Malcolm in the Middle and The Middle in syndication. I never watched any of them when they were on during the week, when they regular seasons. So,
did you guys see any of the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought there was only one that was even moderately funny.
They tried way too hard.
Which one?
The one where they were talking about electric vehicles, that it was like they were talking about premature ejaculation or that oh my God, I was like, I can't believe they did this.
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it was racy. Like the wife would be like, oh yeah, they're stopping and starting and stopping.
Celebrities or just
no.
Oh.
No,
I'm gonna have to look that one up
funny.
again.
Erectile dysfunction, ED. So it was like
ED,
electrification dysfunction or something like that, right? I thought it was very funny, and I didn't think any of the other ones were funny at all.
No.
So can we go back to Star Trek again?
Oh, if you want.
Sure.
What is it about it that hooked you into it? Because it's a space technology and it's a soap opera. I don't know. Is it a soap opera?
Yeah, but it's not a soap opera that's based in our current time frame. So there's a little element of the fantasy of also seeing all these characters together who are getting along. There's no sort of inherent racism. There's no it's like the cultures have finally evolved enough that they can all work together.
Except for the Borg.
But except for the Borg, well, yeah. And the Klingons.
and
I just thought, because you're both women.
You're getting into dangerous territory, Walt. Are you saying that women aren't smart enough to like tech and space?
I've always loved fantasy that way, though.
I love sci-fi, and I don't know if it was because of my dad. Like, my dad watched Star Trek, and I remember watching it with him, and then he had, like, Ray Bradbury books, and Isaac Asimov, and I don't know. I just always loved sci-fi. I just love the ideas. I don't know why. It's just so much fun to speculate
the
like
cliche
that.
of the teenage boys, going to Comic-Con and stuff. But you don't see the women not always, but sometimes.
I mean, I think in the past some of them might have been true, but I don't think that's true anymore. I really don't. I think it's totally
right.
Yeah, I agree.
Gender neutral.
I finished the Patrick O'Brien Master and Commander books, 21 of them.
Wow. Are they worth it? I mean, I have friends who love those books.
They're so good that I'm having withdrawal problems.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I can't find anything else that interests me. I really, every day I look forward to going into that world, and now I can't.
That's hard.
Yeah. I've searched for other similar series. Nothing measures up. He's a brilliant writer.
What's the time frame?
Like 1800 to 1820.
Did you see the movie, Bailey? Master and Commander?
I guess I did.
Yeah, that was good. So good.
That's based on those books?
Yeah.
Or the first book?
The movie did a really good job of interpreting that, but
I'll have to pick those up because, a couple of people in my book club said they read the Jack Reacher books.
Uh-huh.
And I read one and I liked it. And then I started reading another one. I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, I'm not into it. So I should try the Master and Commander one. Pardon?
Too formulaic?
I don't know what it was. I couldn't. It was weird. I could not picture the character. And I usually like to do that. And I just couldn't. Like, the only person I kept seeing was Ron Perlman. And I didn't want to see Ron Perlman because I get this character is huge. Maybe you've read them. I don't know.
You didn't see the series?
I did not. Was that John Krasinski?
I don't know.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know
it
either.
is.
And I know Tom Cruise played it in one, and Tom Cruise would be like a foot shorter than the real character.
People were really upset about that.
I mean, because that's like his defining characteristic is he's mad. He's like Bigfoot. Someone in the first thing I read called him Bigfoot, So maybe I'll try Master and Commander.
I need something.
Yeah, start Master and Commander. Get the first book and it completely not be to your taste. Like some people don't like Conk on Earth.
I can't be the only person out there. Come on.
No, you're not. You're not. My sister didn't find it that funny.
You're not. I heard exactly the same.
But that's true with like a lot of British humor, right? I mean, like the Mighty Boosh, right? I don't even know how many people would really like the Mighty Boosh, but... And even Monty Python. A lot of people don't really like Monty Python.
I loved Monty Python.
Yeah.